Mr Clown here for Clown Maths. Today we're going to go through the 2024 National 5 Application of Maths Paper 1 mock paper made by teacher Mr Cruickshanks, so thank you very much for that. Let's get started straight away, and as per usual, remember, go on clownmaths.com and you will find this paper that you can download for yourself. Question 1, a class of S2 pupils were asked their favourite pizza toppings and were half said pepperoni, a fifth said ham and pineapple, and a tenth said barbecue chicken. The rest said cheese and tomato. What fraction said cheese and tomato? So we need to add the fractions first. So it's a half plus a fifth plus a tenth. So in this one we've got 3. Quite often it's only 2. And if it is only 2, remember, you can times these together to get a common denominator and then do cross cross. Which is what I'm going to do there, because a lot of people will do that. You don't actually have to do it for this question. So 2 5s is 10. So that gives me 10 and 10 for these two, plus a tenth on the end. And then we've got plus in the middle, and then it's just 1 times 5 is 5. And 1 times 2 is 2. So I've now got them all the same, 5, 6, 7, 8 tenths. So that leaves for cheese and tomato. Now you can simplify at the end, or now I'm going to simplify at the end. I've got 8 tenths, so 9, 10 makes 2 left over, 2 out of 10, which I simplify by dividing by 2 to 1 out of 5. Always simplify fractions if you can. And we're done there. Okay, question 2. The Royal Mint is the official maker of British coins. The coin shown is a commemorative £2 coin to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the Flying Scotsman. The coin is acceptable if the diameter is 28mm plus or minus 10%, so it's a tolerance question. The diameters of the 5 coins are shown below. Calculate the percentage of coins that are acceptable. So step 1 is always work out your max and min and write it down. So I've got 10%, so I need to do 10% of 28. So to do 10% divide by 10, so that is 2.8mm. So my max and my min, my max and min acceptable, I need to do 28 plus 2.8, so that's 28, 29, 30.8mm. And my min, I need to do 28 minus 2.8. Use a column or anything you want, but I'll just do this manually, 28, 27, 26. So that's going to be 25.2. And just make sure you get that right by counting back up. 25.2 plus 0.8 is 26, 27, 28. So now I just mark in some way the ones that are acceptable, because I want to know the ones that are acceptable. Sometimes acceptable, sometimes it isn't acceptable. So 30mm is all good, because that's between these two numbers. 28, that's all good. 31, no, nope, too high. 24, too low. And 26 is all good. So the fraction that are good is 3 out of, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 fifths are acceptable. Always work it out as a fraction first, then just change that to a percent. So to change it to a percent, I need it out of 100. So I've got 3 fifths. I want to make that out of 100. So 5 times 20 is 100. So 3 times 20 is 60. So that's 60%. And we're done there. SQA National 5 Application of Maths 2024 Paper 1 Question 3 for this mock paper. Alistair and Victoria are trying to lose weight. In a given week, Alistair loses 2 kilograms and Victoria loses 5 pounds. Mark the information on the scale and state who has lost most more weight in the given week. Okay, so Alistair is 2 kilograms, so that's the bottom scale. So I need to just zoom in a little bit and count. So my divisions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So each division is a kilo. So I just need to mark his weight, assuming he 2 kilograms versus Alistair. Hopefully I've spelled his name right. And then by looking at Victoria, she loses 5 pounds. That's the top scale. So again, I need to check my divisions. Let's look at the main ones. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's gone up in ones, and she's lost 5 pounds. So I just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'll use a different colour so you can see it, but in the exam I might just use the same colour. There is Victoria. So it then says, mark this information scale and state who has lost the most weight. Well, Victoria's lost more because it's higher up the scale. Victoria. And we're done there. Question 4. The table below shows the number of wins and goals scored by 8 football teams. And it says on the grid, construct a scatter graph to show this data, and an additional one is required at the end. So we've got, having a look, wins on the bottom and goals up beside. So just being very careful to mark it on. The first one's 11.37, so So check your divisions first to make sure it is going up in ones. On the side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, good. And these ones are going up, well, let's count. 10 point something, 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 11. So it's going up in twos. So 0.2s for each of these. Okay, so the first one, just taking your time, 11 and 37, 11, 35, 36, 37. A little dot or an X is fine. The next one is 12 and 41. So 12 and 41 is there. The next one is 13 and 36. So we've got 13 here, and 35, 36 is going to be there. And then the next one we've got is 14, 53. So 14 up to 51, 2, 3. And make sure you count it right and double check. I think that's good. 12 and 43. So back down to 12 and then up to 40, 1, 2, 3. You can have some on the same line. That is completely fine with a scatter graph. 15 and 57. So I'm on 15, I'm on 50, I'm on 51, 2, hard to see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I get that as 57, let me just check. 9, 10, yep. 15 and 63. So on that same line I was already on, 60, 1, 2, 3. And the last one, 18 and 56. So all the way over 18, and then getting myself on the correct place here. 51, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is there. And that's me constructed my scatter graph for part A. Part B says, draw a line of best fit on your scatter graph. So for this you need a ruler. So make sure you've got a ruler for your exam. I've got a ruler for my exam, there we are. And a line of best fit is any line that basically there's some numbers that are just, you're never going to be anywhere close. So where they're all scattered, the numbers are called outliers. You'll find that in advanced higher maths. You just look your line, your best line you can. It doesn't have to go through the points as long as it roughly goes through as many points as you can, or at least an equal distance apart. And there's a lot of wheelie in this, so I'm just going to make it this one here. There's my line of best fit there. And that would be acceptably fine. You get away with drawing it a bit off there, as long as your line isn't something daft like that. That would not be acceptable. I've just undone my line. Or something like that. It has to kind of go through near as many points or equal distance apart as you can. Okay? And it's usually quite obvious. Okay, next question. Use your line of best fit to estimate the number of goals scored by a team who has played 16 games. So 16, you use a ruler, but I don't need to on an iPad. And then I can just kind of see where that crosses the axis here. So just make sure I went to 16, up to my line and along. Should be able to see that. And then just count 50. I'm one away for 60, so that's 59 roughly. So I'm going to just write 59 goals. And we're done there. If you had done this question yourself and your line of best fit's slightly different for that, you might have got 60, you might have got 58, you might have got a slightly different number, but as long as you used your line of best fit, you're good. Question 5. Valerie is contracted to work 34 hours per week. She earns £400 in a week, where she works 4 hours overtime at a rate of time and a half. Calculate Valerie's hourly rate of pay. So she works 4 hours, 34 hours a week, and then 4 hours overtime at time and a half. So I can work out what hours that would be if it was just normal by saying I've got 34 plus our 4 hours. If it was double time, I'd add 4 again, but it's time and a half, so half of 4 is 2. So that's 34, 38, 40 hours a week is how much she's really getting paid for. So now it's £400 divided by 40. So I can drop the 10 to make 40 divided by 4, and that is £10 per hour. And we're done there. Question B, Valerie's expenses in a given week includes petrol, shopping and bills in the ratio of 5, 6, 9. And it says that her petrol is 55. So 55 petrol. So this number here is petrol. So for one part, I can do 55 divided by 5, which equals 11. So now I can just work out the cost of each of these or times the total by 11. It's up to you what way you go. I'm just going to do it by the total. So I've got 9 plus 6 plus 5. 9 plus 6 is 15 plus 5 is 20. So I need to do 20 times 11. Times and by number ends in 0 means I can just do 2 times 110. 2 times 100, 2 times 10, £220. Or alternatively, you could have said that that's 66 and that's 99, and then just done that, 99, 66 and 55 to get the same answer. Question C says, express Valerie's total expenditure as a percentage of her total weekly wage. So her total expenditure is 220. As a percentage is the same as asking add a fraction. So do a fraction first. And her total weekly wage is £400 a week, it says. So now I want that as a percentage. So again, if it's non-calculator, you're always trying to get to 100. So to go from 400 to 100, I divide by 4. So I divide this number by 4. If you need to use a method at the side like this, then we do that. 4 into 22, 4 5s is 22, or 20 actually, but there's 2 left over. And then 4 5s is 20. So I get 55 out of 100, and write that as a percent, 55%. And we're done there. SQA Answer 5 Application of Maths 2024, Paper 1, Question 6 for this mock paper. And it says Jamie's making creme brulee. The table shows the list of tasks, the time taken to complete each task. Complete the diagram below to show the times and tasks. So this is a precedence table, it's called, and let's just try and start. So we always start from the one that says none. So A is none and B is none. So we need to work out what one's A and what one's B. If you're lucky, it'll be the first one is A, but just checking. After B, there is quite a lot of tasks. You've got C and D, and then a bunch of other stuff, but the only thing that's after A is G. So A must be the first one. So there's A, and the time taken for A is 8. So we write A underneath, just tick it as we go, and that must be B, and B we write 10, we'll tick it as we go. So now the next tasks, after B, which is here, is C, and after B is D. So B goes to C and D, and we've got 5 and 4. So that's A2 done. And then after C and D, we've got E, and that takes 2. So we write 2. After E, we've got F, so F, and that takes 4. So we write 4. And then it says after A and F, we've got G, and that takes 35. So there's G and 35. And after F, we've also got H, and that takes 12, H and 12. And if you make a mistake, you can always go back, but I can see here that we've got something after G, so I need that box, but I've not got anything after H, so I don't need anything. So after G is I, and that takes 3. And after I is J, and that takes 5. And there's our completed chart. Jamie thinks it'll take no more than an hour to make the creme brulee. Based on times, is he correct? So I basically need to know the critical path. That's the longest path it takes. So I can go A, then after A was G, then IJ, but it should be obvious that A takes 8, going somewhere down here takes more than 8, so I'm going to go that route. And I'm definitely not going to go to H because that takes much longer. So my critical path is I'm going to start at B. Well, I've got a choice between C and D, so I'll take the longest because I need to wait. So there's C, and then I've got E and F, and then I've got G and I, and then I've got J. So that is 10 plus 5 plus 2 plus 4 plus 35 plus 3 plus 5. So counting these up carefully, 10 and 5 is 15, plus another 5 is 20, plus 35 is 55, plus 2 and 3 is 5, so that's 60, and then 64 minutes. That's 1 hour 64 minutes. So is he correct? No, because 1 hour 4 min is bigger than 1 hour. And we're done there. Or you could say it'll take 4 minutes longer. It's great answer for Application of Maths 2024, Paper 1, Question 7 for this mock paper. The final points for the 2022-23 Premiership are shown below. Find the median, lower quartile and upper quartile. It's great answer for Application of Maths 2024, Paper 1, Question 7 for this mock paper. The final points for the 2022-23 Premiership are shown below. Find the median, lower and upper quartiles. So I need to put these numbers in order, so be very careful you don't miss any. I do this all the time. 31, 34. Any more 30s? Nope. So move to the 40s. 40, then 43. Then I see a 46, and then another 46. And then, is there any more 40s? No, so I move to the 50s, I see a 50. I see a 52, 54. I see a 57. And I see a 92 and a 99. Hopefully I put them all in order. So I want the median, that's the one in the middle when you put them in order. So let's check how many there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've got 2 in the middle. So it's in the middle of those 2. So our median is right here. So 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. There's 4 in between there. So 2 more, 48. If you don't know that, you can add them up and half them. And you'll get 48. And now your lower quartile is the lower up to the median. So the first half of these. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's in the middle of there. So I've got in the middle of here, 43 up to 43 is 3. Half of that's 1.5. So 41.5 again. If you're not sure, do 40 plus 43 and divide by 2. And then the other half, we've got here, there's 3 in between the numbers. So again, it's 1.5. So it's 54, 55.5. And now just to actually answer the question instead of lowering it, I'll say the median equals 48. The lower quartile is 41.5 and the upper quartile is 55.5. Just to answer the question. So the box plot for this set of data. So a box plot has got 5 pieces of information on it. It's got the smallest and highest numbers, your lower and upper quartile, and your median. So let's have a look at this. Check what is going up in first of all. Don't make this mistake. It's going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going up in 1. So good. So the lower number is 31. So that's the first one we're going to put on. 31, just draw a nice little vertical line using a ruler. And then we'll do the same for our highest number, which is 99. So a little vertical line there. And then we've got our lower quartile. So 41.5 is what we need to go along to. So there's 40, 41.5 is going to be in the middle. And you're going to draw a box, so a little bit bigger, and we connect that up using a ruler. And our upper quartile was 55.5, so going all the way over. There's 50, 55.5 is in the middle. So nice and big, making sure that you've drawn it as accurately as you can using a ruler. And then that makes your box. So you can just join that there and join it here. And then we join it up to the end. So all the way along to the end. Making sure it is pretty obvious what you've done. And there's your box plot for that. Now on my box plot, I would usually note the numbers. So I would say that that is 31, lower quartile, upper quartile, and highest number, which is 99. And if you've done that, you've not got 5 bits of information. Missed something like I just did. I need my median. So my median is 48. So let's put that in. 45, 46, 47, 48. There's my median there. Median. And now we've got a full box plot and we're done there. Calculate the interquartile range for the points total. So the interquartile range is just the upper quartile minus lower quartile. So that's 55.5 minus 41.5. So if you can't, then just use a column. 5 minus 5 is 0. 5 minus 1 is 4. 5 minus 4 is 1. So you get 14 is the interquartile range. Interquartile range of the finals points totals in the 22-23 Regis 26. Make a valid comparison comparing the final points totals in 22-23 Scottish and English premierships. So if you're comparing the medians or the means, it's on average, but we're comparing the interquartile range. That's the same for standard deviation. So it's about variability. So the final points totals in England are more varied than in Scotland. And that's because 26 is bigger than 14. Or you could say the final point totals in Scotland are more consistent. Question 8. Sanya's getting a new fence built around the garden. Each slat is in the shape of a rectangle and semicircle. We've got a width of 20 and the height is 2 metres, which is 200 centimetres. Be careful on that. Now this is a trick question. It says the height's 200, but it's not up to here. The whole height is up to there. So I need to know what's this little bit in here. Well, the radius of the circle's half the diameter, which is 10. So if I draw 10 in here, then the height of the rectangular part is 200 minus 10, which is 190 centimetres. And now I can do each shape individually. So for shape 1, it's just 20 times 19. Well, 0, 190. So 2 zeros, it's just 2 times 19. 2 nines is 18, 2 ones is 2, plus 1 is 3. 3800 centimetres squared. Shape 2 is a semicircle, so it's pi r squared, start of exam paper, and a half of it. A half times pi times 10 squared. So that's a half times 3.14 times 100. So times by 100 first, you get a half times 314. A half of something, divide by 2. So 2 into 3 goes 1, 1 left over, 2 5s is 10, 1 left over, 2 7s is 14 centimetres squared. So the total is 3800 plus 157 is 7 and 5 and 8 and 1 is 9 and 3. 3957 centimetres squared, and we're done there. The fence needs 2 coats of paint. It takes Sanya and her 2 children 6 hours to give the fence its first coat of paint. When the fence has been given its second coat of paint, Sanya's husband also helps calculate how long it will take to give the fence its second coat of paint. So this is the inverse proportion. So it says 6 hours, and that is for Sanya and 2 children, so 3 people. We're going to assume that they all work at the same rate, which we wouldn't do, but let's just assume that. So for one person, usually you would divide by 3, but since work has been done, you times. So it's 6 times 3, which is 18 hours. So that means that we've now got 4 people, because we've got an extra person. So you divide now. 18 divided by 4. A little bit of a side here. 18 divided by 4. 4 fours is 16, 0.02. 4 fives is 20. So 4.5 hours. And we're done there. Now, does it tell us to give it in hours and minutes? Yeah, 4.5 hours, 4 hours, half an hour is 30 minutes. And we're done there. For our maths today, we did the 2024 mock exam for National 5 Applications of Maths Paper 1. Hope you do well in your exams. Take care, stay safe, and goodbye.